Hi, this video is a quick follow-up to the video that I have uploaded regarding the novel Lord of the Flies. I am going to have a last look at it, and I believe you will learn something from what I am about to explain now. In chapter 1, it establishes the parameter within which civilization functions. So there is this balance. The author also wants us to know that moral and societal constraints, or say rules and regulations, law and orders, are learned. We are made to learn externally rather than within us, rather than innate. So these are qualities where we learn externally rather than internally. Law and order, rules and regulations are imposed by the system that is not in itself a fundamental part of human nature. So for example, if I move to other countries or somewhere else, I need to obey certain rules and regulations, law and order, if I am to survive or if I am to stay and live as a law-abiding citizen. Likewise, all these rules are external and we learn it rather than coming out from within. And the author is trying to say that these are not safe. In order to live peacefully, or in order to survive, in order to let our world be in peace, goodness of a person is crucial, or a person's goodness has, it has to be just natural, it has to be spontaneous. We cannot force others to be good. If you are good, you are good, and no amount of force or others cannot force you to become good. And that's what the author is trying to say in this novel, because if we're not good, then naturally, when we are left alone, when there are no rules and regulations to be forced upon us, our true color will come out. So, this, for example, likewise, during tough times, the true color of a leader is shown during tough times. And we can see the true color of a leader when they are met with difficult situations or difficult decisions to make. And again, there's this character Jack. He displays this a ferocious desire to be elected as a leader. Beginning, all the boys came together, they elected a leader. However, he wanted to be a leader, but Ralph was elected as a leader. In chapter 1, we are also given a glimpse of the conch shell, and it is symbolic in the sense that the boys, in chapter 1, the boys and Ralph and the boys discovered the conch shell on the beach right at the outset of the novel. In chapter 1, the conch is used to summon order, a characteristic of civilization. So it establishes, it gives this whole idea of law and order, or rules and regulation. The conch also stands for authority in the novel, meaning the one who holds the conch shell holds the right to speak. It may be stated that the shell stands for political and democratic power, as gradually the effect of civilization recedes, the conch too seems to become redundant. In the later part of the novel, um, the conch is broken, and that broken pieces of conch symbolize a complete annihilation of civilization, law and order, rules and regulations. In chapter 2, one of the boy among the, you know, the youngest, the little ones, basically called the little ones, he said that he saw a beasting, like a snake-like beastie, quote unquote beastie, or monster the night before, and he is none other than this a boy with a mulberry-colored birthmark. And in chapter 2, there is this a glimpse of that, and the boy with a mulberry-colored birthmark is the first person to die in the novel. You be aware about that. Mulberry-colored mark on his face. He is the first person to die. And another important, some of the lines. How do we expect to be rescued if you don't put things first and act proper? This is spoken by Piggy. There is this disagreement between the group, and Jack and his group are more interested in hunting rather than being, rescued. And again, there another quote: "We'll have rules, lots of rules. Then when anyone breaks them, they will be punished." That is spoken by Jack. Now this is ironical because he was the first person to break rules and regulations. We've got to have rules and obey them. After all, we're not savages. We're English, and the English are the best at everything. So we've got to do the right things. Again, so ironical. This is spoken by Jack, who represents this savage instinct to hurt others, the desire to kill or to harm others. And as the novel proceeds, Jack and hunters returned with the pig. Finally, they got a pig. The ship was around in the sea, but no signal fire. There was no one tending the fire. The ship passed by where they were camped, just the island, the uninhabited island. But since no one was tending the fire, the ship could not spot them, and it went away. Because of that, Ralph is so not happy. Jack and Roger in the novel Jack and Roger hold the idea that power should enable those who hold it to satisfy their own desires and act on their own impulses. They are of the view that if they have the power, they can do whatever they want. They can exploit others to fulfill their own, maybe just whimsical desires or anything like that. Just according to their own wishes. Jack and Ralph continue to grow hostile. There is this more and more of this disparity between them, because Jack, he just wants to exploit, and he's not at all in the mood to be, going home or to be rescued. He just loves hunting with the other boys. Jack and boys are not at all willing to help. They're only bothered about hunting pigs and are using their hunting duties as an excuse. Again, for the first time, conflict erupts into verbal arguments. Ralph advocates building huts, and whereas Jack advocates hunting. Jack is, drawn into this acceleration of hunting by his bloodlust and desire for power. Again, there's another one interesting character. His name is none other than Simon. Simon seems to have a basic goodness and kindness that comes from within him. So it's natural. That is what, the author William Golding is talking about. In order to thrive or in order to survive, this goodness of a person should be natural. We cannot act externally, trying to be good, trying to be kind, trying to be generous. That has to be natural. It cannot just it cannot be acted out externally. So in the novel, Simon possesses a third quality, that is a kind of goodness that is natural, and that goodness not being forced upon him. It is natural. So at home he must have been taught to do this, do that, but he just knows what is good and what is bad. So even if he is left alone, he knows what is good and what is bad, and he is good naturally. That comes from within. So even if he is left alone, he will remain the same old person. He will not change because he is good naturally. That goodness is coming out from within him, and he will remain the same. In chapter 4, there's continue to talk about, the boys are becoming, scared of the beast, and fear and a monster hunts in the darkness. Jack is obsessed with the idea of killing pigs and hunting, and he camouflages his face with clay and charcoal. Ralph and Piggy see a ship on the horizon, but the signal fire, we've talked about earlier, the signal fire is already gone. Jack and the hunters return with the pig. Piggy complains about Hunter's immaturity, which is led by Jack. And Jack slaps him on the face, breaking one of the lens of Piggy's specs. In chapter 6, there's this military airplanes battling above them, and one of the parachutists, a pilot, his plane being shot, he fell, and the parachute got tangled in some rocks. Sam and Eric the same day woke up to tend the fire to make the flames brighter. They saw the twisted form of the dead parachutist and mistook the shadowy figure to be the figure of a dreaded beast. And in chapter 7, chasing of the wild boar, Ralph gets involved in it. As we move on, the boys are getting more and more frenzied in this wild and crazy dance. They reenact the chase, chasing of the pigs, and the boy named Robert playing the character of a bear or a boar. In chapter 8, the boys claim to have seen the monster on the mountain the night before. Jack believes that there is a monster and that Jack is a coward and should be removed. On the other side, Jack declares himself the chief. In a savage frenzy, they killed the pig. The boys left the pig's head on a sharpened stake in the jungle as an offering to the beast. Simon slips away from the boys and returns to the jungle glade. Simon's confrontation with the Lord of the Flies, or the Soul's Head, is the most important scene in the novel. Simon's speculation has come through. Perhaps the beast is only the boys themselves. In the beginning, when the boys, all of them were, gathered together, debating about the beast, the existence of the beast, Simon said that maybe there is a beast, but he was laughed off even by Ralph. Even the most sensible person, Ralph, could not understand what Simon actually wanted to say, and they did not pay attention to him. So what Simon really wanted to say was, looking at the boys, as Simon was looking at them, remember, he is really good, he's innocent, he's kind, looking at the boys quarreling, slapping, shouting at each other. You know, who are they? So looking at them, they're no, they're no more or less evil. They are beast-like, shouting. They're savage. So that was what Simon was trying to say. They're not really looking at themselves. They're scared of the beast, whereas they themselves are the beast. That's what Simon actually wanted to tell them. You are the beast. If you act like that, if you're if you're not in unity, and if you slander each other, if you fight, if you hurt each other, then you are the beast. Or if we are bad, if we hurt others, if we have the desire to kill others, harm others, then we are the beast. We cannot consider ourselves, a loving human. We are the beast in itself. In chapter 9, Simon is killed. Simon realizes the boys have mistaken the harmless parachute to be the deadly beast. And at that same time, Piggy and Ralph have also gone to Jack's camp for the feast. The boys are eating and laughing, the roasted pigs, chanting and dancing in frenzy. After the feast, they all, circle around the fire, and then they are shouting, they're dancing in wild frenzy. Suddenly, they saw a shadowy figure running towards them. Remember Simon, after Simon saw that figure, the figure of the parachutist, he went near to it, and he realized that it was not a beast, but the parachute tangled between some rocks scattered there. He wanted to inform the boys. Remember, he was so tired, his mouth dry, everything so tired, weak, but he wanted to inform the good news. So although he was really tired, he was running towards them to inform them about the good news. But as he was running towards them, they thought Simon to be the beast. In their wild dance, remember, they are just dancing crazy, thinking about, obsessed with this whole idea of the beast. And as Simon was running towards them, they thought Simon to be the beast. And they, without even giving the chance to let Simon speak, they brutally murdered Simon. And with that, the last symbol of civilized order is stripped away. Jack's power alleviates when the boys fear for the beast. Simon's vision teaches that the beast exists inside all human beings. The confrontation within the beast is not over until he comes with the beast that exists within the other boys. When they kill Simon, they are acting on the savage instinct that the beast represents. Simon's death shows others the way to salvation. Simon's death exemplifies the power of evil within the human soul. So that is it. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye bye.